there was a large fragment left behind after my wife dropped the plate. And we didn't want to throw it away because it was her mom's that we inherited. And so we kept it on the kitchen island and moved it around. After a couple months of walking by, moving it with groceries and things, I noticed a little bird and a little monk crossing a bridge. And I just had this vision of the world beyond that fragment. And that's really kind of how it all started. It's unique in that it brings together a number of different artistic styles like drawing and sculpture, three-dimensionality and two-dimensionality, and encased within sort of its own environment with the shadow box frames that Skyframe does. And it ties together all of these things into its own world, bringing the past, present, and future into kind of a new story. I definitely try to mimic as close to reality the edges of the plates and where the sort of storyline of the plate begins and ends, and draw that similar to how the actual plate was. And then once it kind of crosses the border, I'll start to carry through some motifs from the original plate, but then add new. I'll just sort of, again, have this vision of what would happen if this bird was flying out of the plate, or what happens if there's a water scene and it kind of spills onto the edge of the plate into a waterfall. Yeah, so again, this is amazing with Skyframe and Nadia in particular, being able to take the reference material that I send, and I will have some outline indicators of where to place things, but trusting that the placement will tie perfectly with the drawing is key to the whole piece coming together. And Nadia here does an amazing job at doing all that. You're taking this three-dimensional object that's oftentimes relatively heavy and then going to kind of hang it on a wall so that it doesn't fall off. So it has to be really the right kind of archival adhesive so that it lasts over time, that it can ship. So it has to be very, very sturdy, but also seamless and delicate, so there is no indication of where the adhesive is. It just has to seem like the plate is floating on the paper, and all of that has to, again, kind of come together kind of seamlessly. When I'm working in the studio, I'll have everything placed correctly, and I'll draw out where everything should. So I'm still working with it lying flat. And then when I come either pick up a piece and bring it into the studio and put it on the wall, it just magically kind of shimmers and comes to life, really. It just all comes together, and it's really exciting. Yeah, I definitely think 10% is too low. The presentation, the framing, it creates its own sort of atmosphere for the piece to live in. It's its own space that lives within other spaces. If that's a gallery, a museum, a collector's home, it's got to be self-contained and sort of emanate the energy of the piece. So yes, if I'm at a flea market and I see a plate that has a really interesting story, I can kind of, it's a really good question, I can kind of see the story that would emerge, but it definitely changes once I start drawing. Sometimes I might make a mistake that will turn into something I didn't expect it to be, or I'll just get sort of stuck and I have to kind of step back and reimagine what is this story taking shape as. And sometimes that can take a few days to a week, 2 weeks. Sometimes I've been working on a commission now for a few months because it's a new plate and it's a new story. A battle scene with ships. I've never done a battle scene, so I have a ship that's shooting a cannon and another ship's exploding, and that's all coming off of the plate. So that's taken a long time. It feels very exciting. It's a dream come true, that's for sure. Worked as an artist, not full-time, but since I was 18, showing at galleries in my 20s and 30s, always kind of working different jobs, and then this series has allowed me to do it full-time. Over this last 4 years or so that I've been doing this, people have reached out and they've sent me things that they've done that were inspired by that. Schools, a number of schools have reached out, and teachers telling me that they're teaching their students about it, then they'll send me pictures of the students, what they did with different materials. So I think it's in the future. I hope it kind of relates to seeing beauty in things that are broken and kind of continuing stories in ways that are unexpected. I was working with another framer, and they asked me to find someone to help because they couldn't keep up with the number of pieces that I was bringing them. And so they recommended Skyframe, and I started bringing my work here. Skyframe has a rush service that's amazing and totally transformed the pace of my work, made it so easy to get things done and then see them really quickly. Working with collectors and clients, it's just been transformative. And what's kept it going is everybody's just so awesome to work with.